Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Learn English Through Story. Today, we're exploring one of the most surprising mysteries in animation history: why Disney characters wear gloves. This story is fun, full of secrets, and perfect for improving your English listening and vocabulary. You'll learn little-known facts about animation, design tricks from the early days of Disney, and clever ideas animators use to create magical characters. Get ready for an exciting journey into Disney history. Let's begin. Have you ever watched an old Disney cartoon and thought, why do they all wear white gloves? Mickey Mouse, Minnie, Goofy, even characters from other studios like Bugs Bunny, they all wear them. It looks cute, yes, but the real story behind those gloves is much bigger, more interesting, and more surprising than you think. Let's go back almost 100 years to the early 1930s. Animation was still young. There were no computers, no tablets, no digital effects. Animators used pencils, ink, and thousands of sheets of paper. Every little movement had to be drawn by hand. Imagine drawing a hand wave. It seems simple, right? But in animation, a hand wave might need 12 drawings per second. A full cartoon could require tens of thousands of drawings. And here is the first big problem. Hands are extremely difficult to draw. Human hands are detailed. They have many lines, joints, fingers, curves. Drawing hands over and over again is slow, tiring, and expensive. So animators needed a solution, something faster, something easier, something that still looked cute and friendly. And this is where the famous white gloves started. But let's not go too fast. Before gloves, Mickey Mouse looked very different. In his earliest cartoons, Mickey had black hands, because he himself was black and white. But this created a huge issue. You couldn't see his hands clearly. When he waved, the wave disappeared into his dark body. When he pointed at something, the audience sometimes missed the gesture completely. To fix this, someone at Disney suggested a simple idea. Let's give Mickey white gloves. At first, it seemed funny. Why would a mouse wear gloves? But when the animators tested it, the result was amazing. Suddenly, Mickey's hands were bright, clear, and easy to see on a black and white screen. The gloves made his movements stronger, cleaner, and more emotional. So reason number one is simple. White gloves made the animation visible. But this is just the beginning. Reason number two, gloves made characters more human. In the early days of animation, studios wanted animals and objects to behave like people. This style is called anthropomorphism, giving human qualities to non-human characters. But if you make an animal too realistic, it becomes strange or scary. So adding gloves made the characters softer, more friendly, and more like performers. In fact, in the early 1900s, real stage performers often wore white gloves during shows. They were symbols of class, charm, and style. So when Mickey got his gloves, he became not just a mouse. He became a little gentleman performer. Reason number three, gloves save time and money. Drawing detailed animal paws or complex human hands takes forever. But drawing simple, rounded gloves? Much easier. Animators could focus on expressions and storytelling instead of the complicated shapes of hands. This also made the production faster. In the 1930s, studios released new cartoons every few weeks. Anything that saved time was considered gold. Now here's something even cooler. Disney did not only use gloves for Mickey. Goofy, Pluto, Minnie, they all had them. And soon other animation studios copied the idea. That's why you'll see Bugs Bunny, Woody Woodpecker, even old Tom and Jerry characters with gloves. It became a cartoon tradition. But there's a deeper story behind this tradition. Disney liked using little tricks to make characters stand out, even in simple ways. Let's look at an example. Imagine a black and white cartoon with fast movement and lots of action. Without gloves, a character's hands disappear into their body. With gloves, the viewer always sees the emotional moment, whether a wave, a punch, or a funny gesture. and gestures are powerful. A hand gesture can say, "Stop, come here, look at this," or "I am surprised." Disney wanted these emotions to be crystal clear for children and adults watching. Reason number 4, gloves helped communication. But the story doesn't stop here. Let's explore one more important idea. Gloves became part of the brand. Mickey's gloves are iconic. If you see a picture of just the gloves, even without Mickey, you still know it belongs to him. That's how strong the symbol became. And symbols matter in storytelling. Now let's take a fun detour to other secrets from Disney animation. Did you know that in the movie Monsters, Inc., animators drew 5.5 million individual hairs on Sully? That is why he looks so realistic. But that also explains why animators never wanted to draw complex animal paws in the early days. Everything took too long. Another fun fact, many Disney characters have names with hidden meanings. For example, Simba from The Lion King means lion in Swahili. And in Finding Nemo, the shark named Bruce is a reference to the mechanical shark from the movie Jaws. Disney loves little secrets like that. And speaking of secrets, here's a famous one. Disney sometimes reused animations. Yes, old scenes were copied and redrawn for new movies. For example, the dancing scenes in Sleeping Beauty, Snow White, and Beauty and the Beast have similar movements. It wasn't to save money. It was because reusing clean animation helped maintain high artistic quality. Now let's visit the Disney parks for a moment. Disneyland in California has a hidden apartment above the fire station. Walt Disney used it when he stayed in the park. Inside the window, there is a lamp that always stays on. It represents Walt's spirit watching over the magic he created. But what about the gloves? Why did this tradition continue even after color animation became popular? Because fans loved it. The gloves became part of Disney culture. Artists loved them. Children loved them. Adults loved them. Gloves are friendly. They are soft. They are charming. And in animation, they just make everything easier and clearer. Let's imagine this. Mickey Mouse lifts his hand to his heart. Without the gloves, the gesture might feel different. But with the gloves, it becomes iconic, full of nostalgia and emotion. Today, Disney animators can create anything with computers. They don't need gloves anymore. But gloves are tradition, and traditions are powerful. So next time you see Mickey, Goofy, or Minnie with their white gloves, you'll know. It's not just fashion, it's history, it's animation science, it's storytelling, it's magic. And that is the fun and surprising reason why Disney characters still wear those famous white gloves. Now that we've finished the story, let's slow down for a moment and look at some of the useful vocabulary you heard. Understanding these words will help you follow similar stories more easily and improve your English step by step. And before we continue, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps this content reach more learners around the world. All right, let's take a look at 10 important words from today's episode, along with simple example sentences to help you remember them better. Gesture, a movement that shows a feeling. Example, the character used a big gesture to say hello. Tradition, something done the same way over time. Example, wearing gloves became a Disney tradition. Symbol, something that represents an idea. Example, the white gloves are a symbol of classic animation. Animation, moving drawings used in cartoons. Example, early animation was drawn by hand. Visible, easy to see. Example, the gloves made the hand movements visible. Performer, someone who entertains people. Example, the characters look like little performers. Studio, a place where movies or cartoons are made. Example, Disney Studio created many famous characters. Nostalgia, warm feelings about the past. Example, old cartoons give adults a sense of nostalgia. Complex, difficult or detailed. Example, drawing hands is complex for animators. Emotional, full of feelings. Example, the gloves help show emotional expressions. Great job following today's story and learning the new vocabulary. Before we wrap up the episode, let's check your understanding with a short and fun quiz. Answering these questions will help you remember the most important parts of the story and strengthen your listening skills. And if you're enjoying these lessons, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us bring you even more helpful English learning content. 1. Why were gloves first added to Disney characters? A. To make them look fashionable. B. To make hand movements easier to see. C. To match real gloves. Correct answer. B. White gloves made the hands visible in black and white movies. 2. What do gloves help show? A. Perfect drawings. B. Strong emotions and gestures. C. Expensive costumes. Correct answer. B. Gloves make expressions clearer. 3. Why did other studios use gloves too? A. It became a tradition and worked well. B. Disney forced them. C. Gloves were cheaper to buy. Correct answer. A. Gloves became a popular animation tradition. And that brings us to the end of today's episode. Thank you so much for spending your time learning and practicing English with us. I hope you enjoyed the story, discovered something new, and picked up useful vocabulary along the way. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. Your support truly helps us grow and create even more fun and educational content for you. Feel free to share your thoughts or questions in the comments, and let us know what topics you'd like to learn about next. Remember, the more you listen, the faster your English will improve. Thanks again for being here, and I can't wait to see you in the next episode. Take care, keep practicing, and keep learning.